Babus, this is Chatty from Cheers Chatty. And we have a very special podcast today because this podcast is about Cheers Chatty podcast and we are not featuring anyone today for a change. Okay. And I'm now going to give it to my co-host, Anu Rao, to take us through the entire podcast. Hey Anu, how are you?
Hi, Chatty. Let me start by congratulating.
Thank you so much, Babu. Thank you.
Got 100 YouTube subscribers, almost 700 Facebook followers, 40-part podcast, one superstar all-woman podcast, 200 plus Insta followers. Wow. So tell me, what's special about Cheers Chatty podcast?
Thank you so much. And I would like to raise a toast and say cheers to that. And cheers to us. Cheers. And what's so special is what your question was. Like everyone knows, Cheers Chatty is India's first and only beer podcast. Okay. And what do we do really here? We feature a lot of people from the beer industry and the alcohol industry. These are, brewers, these are brewsters, meat makers, founders of breweries, manufacturers, wine educators, anyone and everyone associated with the industry. And normally they don't have a platform to share their stories. That's how, Cheers Chatty has brought them all together. And we feature them on a podcast. And why do we have it on a podcast is also because, India's, firstly, when you look at beer industry, it's growing at almost 10% growth rate, year on year. And if you look at the podcast industry, it's enjoying a 60% growth rate of listeners. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And, again, a podcast is nothing but, listening to stories. It's an audio story. So we also believe that great stories are always born from beer. Okay. So we just decided we'd brew all of this together and create a beautiful batch of Cheers Chatty podcast. That's what this entire journey is all about. And where do we want to take it? We want to take it that anyone wants to know anything about beer, it should be through us.
Lovely. And how is that going to be? I mean, what else do you do besides podcast? So what's more?
So our showstopper is obviously our podcast. But beyond that, we have a whole lot of other things. We've got craft beer education, where we conduct online courses. We also have the creative communication part of the business, where any brand, in the beer and the alcohol industry comes to us and says that they want to create a brand, they want to create a personality, they want the entire advertising that needs to be done across all channels, not just, one touch point. We do that as well. Then we also have merchandise line. We have some t-shirts that we've already got designed and they're put up on our website, so you can take a look at it. If not, you will see it on our Insta and Facebook pages. We also have an initiative called Cheer for Beer. Cheer for Beer is our social responsibility initiative. Recently, we also did a campaign where we had a whole lot of creative posts that were put, a campaign that was created. And plus, we spoke on behalf of the beer industry. That's what Cheers Chatty is more than podcast.
Lovely. And when you talk about communication and advertising and stuff like that, how are you opening doors to people or brands who wish to sponsor, advertise, or contribute in Cheers Chatty?
If there's any brand, a company for that matter, wants to advertise on Cheers Chatty, they are more than welcome. Earlier we weren't doing it, but now yes, with the kind of reach that we've got, and of course the numbers speak for themselves. You can advertise on the Cheers Chatty podcast. You can actually even advertise on our, website. We have 3 segments as far as the advertising is concerned. One is at the start of the podcast, one is at the middle, and the last is at the end of the podcast. Yeah, just before we sign off. Okay. That's as far as the advertising is concerned. Sponsorships, we are open to any brand company, again, coming to us and say that we want featured content. featured content will be more than one podcast. It will be an entire season of at least 5 podcasts. So we'll actually customize the entire content for them, depending on what they want to convey to our listeners. Lastly, contribute. Just write in to us at chatty@cheerschatty.com, and we'll take it up from there as far as contributions is concerned. You can also be featured on our podcast. Just write in, and that's it.
Podcast is such that it's beyond geographical boundaries.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of individuals who are, enthusiasts, beer enthusiasts, who are listening to Cheers Chatty podcast. And how do you think that such individuals who wish to support or can contribute to Cheers Chatty?
So if you even look at our library of podcasts, we've done 3 international women. We have a lot of audiences coming from there as well. Plus, we featured an international beer enthusiast too. Okay. So anyone wants to support us, we are more than grateful for any kind of contributions coming either from beer drinkers, beer enthusiasts from across the world, and who share with us the same passion as we have for beer. And this is not just as far as monetary contributions is concerned. It is also in terms of spreading the good word. So if any media channel or media publication wants to, talk about us, we are open to speaking with them.
Super. Thank you, Chatty. I think that's all I wanted to ask from you for now. So, over back to you to wind up the podcast for today.
Thank you so much, Anu. And Babus, as we said, this is a podcast just on Cheers Chatty podcast. Thank you so much for listening to us. Be good to yourselves and be good to the world. Before we sign off, we would like to tell you that you can follow us, listen to us, and subscribe to us, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Our podcasts are hosted on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. And finally, we are also, as far as education is concerned, we are on Kindle. You can check out a book we've written on beer styles. That's about it. Take care of yourself.